Welcome back to the Sports Playbook, your go-to fast sport news. You're joined by your host Demoz. We're here to give you an update on what's been happening in the world of sport over the last 7 days. So without further ado, let's get right into it. In athletics, the World Athletic Championships have wrapped up in Tokyo. For Australia, they finished with 4 medals and 13th position overall in the championship. For the medals, the only gold medal for the Australians came through newly crowned world champion Nicola Ollis-Leggeds in the high jump, followed by 3 bronze medals with Mackenzie Little in the javelin, Jessica Hull in the 1500, and Curtis Marshall in the pole vault. Jessica Hull had an unreal world championships. She finished 3rd in the 1500 metre and even made it into the 800 metre, which is Jessica's new event that she's been trialling out. Hull also got the Australia and the Oceania record when she qualified for the 800 metre final. Hull finished 8th in the final. And in that final race, Hull was only 0.15 away from the record she set only a couple of days prior. In the NRL, the Penrith Panthers continued their pursuit for a 5th premiership. Penrith walked into a course stadium on Sunday afternoon with 90% of the crowd going for the Bulldogs. Stephen Crichton, who is the Bulldogs captain, was already out prior to the match due to an ankle issue he suffered in the first finals game. But by halftime, Penrith were putting the Bulldogs to the sword. They were leading 36-8 at halftime. However, the Bulldogs, they came out at halftime and showed some fight. The final full-time score was 46-26 in favour of Penrith. For the minor premiers, the Canberra Raiders, they have been knocked out in straight sets, losing to the Cronulla Sharks at home. Nicho Hynes, on return from his 1-game suspension, steered the Cronulla Sharks into another preliminary final. For the Cronulla Sharks, they will go on to face the Melbourne Storm on Friday, the 26th of September, and for Penrith, they will go on to face the Brisbane Broncos on Sunday, the 28th of September in the grand final qualifiers. In the NRLW, the Sharks and the Knights advanced to the prelim final. The Sharks flew to Townsville to face the Cowboys, and they defeated the Cowboys at home 24-18. With that victory, it means the Cronulla Sharks have qualified for both the men's and the women's preliminary finals in a great showing. For the Newcastle Knights, they defeated the Gold Coast Titans 34-20, with Shanice Parker scoring 2 tries of her own. In the first prelim final, the Sydney Roosters will face the Cronulla Sharks in a 2024 grand final rematch. And in the other game, the Newcastle Knights will face the Brisbane Broncos, who they have also had both their men's and their women's team qualify for the prelim final. In the AFL, Matt Rowell wins the 2025 Brownlow medal. Matt Rowell only became the 2nd Gold Coast player to win the Brownlow medal. The other one was Gary Ablett Jr. back in 2013. Rowell finished the final total count with 39 votes. The closest to him was Nick Dacos from Collingwood with 32 points and Bailey Smith from the Geelong Cats with 29 votes. For Nick Dacos, this is back-to-back years where he's finished runner-up. Each game is assigned a 3-2-1 vote, with the best player on the ground receiving 3 votes. The people that judge this is actually the AFL umpires that are out on the ground. Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera in the round 20 matchup against the Melbourne Demons had 32 disposals and kicked 4 goals, and was definitely man of the match in this performance. However, he only received 2 votes. He was not voted the highest performer on the field by the umpires in a rather strange decision. With Nasiah only getting 2 votes for this game, the whole crowd in attendance let their feelings known, with audible groans being heard across the whole Brownlow medal floor. Also in the AFL, the Geelong Cats to face the Brisbane Lions in the grand final. On Friday night, the Geelong Cats faced Hawthorn, with Hawthorn getting a much faster start and leading going into the first quarter. The Geelong Cats finally clicked and they led going into halftime. Patrick Dangerfield, the Geelong captain, was in a class of his own. He led his troops to a remarkable victory and kicked 3 goals of his own. Hawthorn, well, they got within 18 points during the final quarter, but the Geelong Cats stomped on their opponents and they secured their ticket into the 2025 AFL Grand Final. In the other game, Collingwood faced the Brisbane Lions in a 2023 Grand Final rematch. Collingwood were down by 20 during the first quarter, but by half-time, they were up by 13 points. Brisbane, they roared back to life during the third quarter and they went on to win the match. For the Brisbane Lions, this is the third Grand Final in a row that they have qualified for under coach Chris Fagan. The Grand Final will be held on Saturday, the 27th of September, with the first bounce commencing from 2:30 p.m. There will also be the pre-game performance from none other than Snoop Dogg. And in the Rugby World Cup, Canada knock off the Black Ferns to qualify for the final. On the weekend, Canada defeated the double defending champions, the Black Ferns, in the Rugby World Cup semi-final. For the Black Ferns, this is their first tournament defeat since 2014 and they went down 34-19. And in the other semi-final, England defeated France to advance to their home final in front of their home fans. They defeated France 35-17. So in the bronze medal match, the Black Ferns will face off against France on Saturday, the 27th of September. But in the final, Canada will go on to face host nation England on Sunday, the 28th of September from 1 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. And in cricket, Australia defeat India in the ODI series. For Australia, they set a very competitive total of 412, thanks to the batting through Beth Mooney, who got 138. For India, they got very close to the final total, but just fell short, scoring 369 runs. Australia won the game and they wrapped up the ODI series, winning 2-1. With this momentum, Australia will lead into the ODI Women's World Cup, which commences from the 30th of September. And in football, the Ballon Awards have been announced. Ousmane Dembélé won the Men's Ballon d'Or Award, and Barcelona's Aitana Bonmatí won the Females Ballon d'Or Award. For Bonmatí, this is the third consecutive Ballon d'Or Award that she has won. This now puts her up with the likes of Lionel Messi. For Men's Team of the Year Award, PSG won these honours, and for the Women's Team of the Year, this was won by Arsenal. And with that, we'll take a short break, and after, get into your burning rubber breakdown. It's time for the burning rubber breakdown. Let's burn it up. In Formula 1, Max Verstappen wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix as Oscar Piastri crashes on lap 1. Well, Baku, it never fails to disappoint. On Saturday qualifying, the record was set for the most red flags in a qualifying session, with 6 in total. The session ran for a full 120 minutes, and to put this into context, that was longer than the 2024 Baku Grand Prix, yes, the full Sunday race. The casualties included Alex Albon, Franco Colapinto, Nico Hülkenberg, Charles Leclerc, and Oscar Piastri all crashing out during this qualifying session. The reigning world champion Max Verstappen qualified in first, with Carlos Sainz securing second for the Williams outfit, and Liam Lawson stuck the Racing Bulls in third position. This is his best qualifying performance in his current F1 career. And on race day, Oscar Piastri started from 9th position. However, he jumped the race start, so going from 9th position, he was down to 20th by turn 1. And by turn 6, in dirty air, which he's not used to, Oscar Piastri crashed at turn 6 and he was out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. For Lando Norris, he also only managed to qualify in 7th position. And with Piastri out on lap 1, this meant Norris had a great opportunity to reduce the gap in the World Championship. However, he only finished the race in 7th, which meant he got only 6 points down on his World Championship rival. For Carlos Sainz, he was able to hang on to 3rd position. This was the first podium for Williams since 2021, which meant it's the first time that James Vowles, as team principal, led Williams to the podium. George Russell, who was suffering from a flu throughout the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, finished in second position in a classy drive, but Max Verstappen, the reigning world champion, won his second race in a row, which means there's a three-way fight in the World Championship. From first to third, there's a 66 World Championship point gap, which means the fight's on with 6 races to go. That is your Burning Rubber breakdown, and now it's time for our fast fact for a pub chat. It's time to pull yourself a chair and pour yourself a drink. It's this week's fast fact for a pub chat. With the Azerbaijan Grand Prix wrapping up, it's worth noting about Liam Lawson's qualifying performance. With Liam Lawson qualifying in third position, he set a record by doing this. It meant that this is the best qualifying position by a New Zealand driver since 1976. Yeah, that was a few moons ago. That is your fast fact for a pub chat. And now it's time for our playbook planner. Here are some sports to look forward to this weekend. Don't worry, there's some belters. In the NRL, in the first preliminary final, the Melbourne Storm will host the Cronulla Sharks on Friday, the 26th of September, with the game starting at 7:50 p.m. You can catch this on Channel 9 or KO Sports. And in the AFL, this is the big dance, and it's the grand final. The Brisbane Lions will take on the Geelong Cats on Saturday, the 27th of September from 2:30 p.m. You can only catch this game on Channel 7. And in rugby union, the Bledisloe Cup is back on. The Wallabies will be facing off against the All Blacks on Saturday, the 27th of September from 3:05 p.m. You can catch this game only on Stan Sport. For the Wallabies, they will be climbing up a very steep hill. They have not won the Bledisloe Cup since 2002, and they haven't won at Eden Park since 1986. However, we've seen the Wallabies break records this year, defeating the Springboks in South Africa, so anything is possible. And in the NRL, in the second preliminary final, the Brisbane Broncos will host the Penrith Panthers. This is on Sunday, the 28th of September from 4:05 p.m. You can catch this game on Channel 9 or on KO. And with that, we have come to the end of today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next play.